Welcome back to the Pearls and Perils podcast. I'm your host, Peta-Kay, and I hope you are having a good start to the week. If you're not having a good start to the week, I hope that today's episode will just add a bit of a light to your day, will make you laugh, will get you thinking. And let's get straight into the episode. So, today's episode is a Mr. Mrs. episode. It has been a while. If you've been someone that's been listening to the podcast for some time, then you will probably remember the Mr. Mrs. series. Now, this series is a series where I talk about relationship topics that are related to if you are single, dating, or married. So essentially, we're talking about the Miss to Mrs. journey. Now, if you're someone who never wants to get married, you can still listen because not everything will be about marriage. And this is just a way for me to talk about relationships because that is a topic I do enjoy talking about and having discussions about. But the podcast is not just about relationships, it's everything else in between. So, with that being said, let's get into the topic of today. It's coming up to my 8-year wedding anniversary this September, and it's just got me reflecting a lot. One, at how quickly the time has gone. I can't believe I've been married for almost 8 years. Like, 10 years is around the corner. Two, I'm about to be 32 in a matter of months. Okay, it's not that close, it's next year. But the point is, it's just had me really reflecting and looking back at how quickly the time has gone, how much has changed. And it's just got me thinking about love, relationships, and a lot of conversations and things that I've seen and discourse online about relationships. And this is how we've gotten to today's episode. There is one particular quality that I think people often overlook. And a lot of what I'm going to talk about today is more centered from a woman's perspective because I'm a woman. And it's something that I've observed that I do think impacts women a lot more than it does men. But if you're a man listening, stay tuned, stay locked in because I would love to hear your perspective. As I said in the last episode, something I do want to do this year is have more guests on, have, conversations with different people, different perspectives, because I think there's so much you can learn from having conversations with someone else and learning about their experience. It's very easy for us to see the world through our own lens, but shaped on our experience that we've had. And it's not always an accurate picture of what things are really like. Like, I've been married for almost 8 years. I've been in a relationship for practically 10 years. So I have not been in the dating game for a very long time. And even when I was single, I didn't date a lot. So I can't speak to what the dating market is like right now. That experience, I can't speak about it. I can empathize, but I can't speak on my own experience because I don't have much to speak on. But I was thinking about a quality that I think is often overlooked a lot when it comes to dating, specifically women. And it's a quality that, looking back on my experience in marriage and conversations that I've had with other women that are happily married, this is a quality that I see comes up time and time again. And also, when I think about women and stories I've heard that have really gone through it in their relationships, again, this is a quality that was lacking. And I think being in a relationship with someone who genuinely cares about your well being is often the overlooked quality. And it sounds so simple because sometimes we hyper focus on career, money, children, but just paying attention to how that person treats you. Do they show and exhibit that they genuinely care about you? Like, it's one thing for someone to say that they love you or to even profess it, or maybe they show it through acts of service or whatever it is. But I think it's another thing when somebody genuinely cares about your well-being. And I'll go a little bit deeper into that. When someone genuinely cares about you, they care about what is in your best interest. They care about your well-being. If they see that you're struggling with something, they're gonna go out their way to try and help and assist you. They're going to that may even mean that they need to come out their comfort zone. That may even mean that they may have to support you in doing things that might not necessarily be quote unquote their role in the relationship, but simply because they care about your well-being. They want you to be good. They want you to be happy and well and at peace. They're going to make those sacrifices in order to make sure that you're good. And I think being with someone who simply just says they love you versus someone who genuinely cares about you, you can feel the difference in your experience. And I've seen the difference when I've had conversations with people, or I've even observed or been privy to other people's relationships and the behind the scenes. Some of the things that people have shared with me, it's really showed me like, wow, when you are in a relationship with someone who genuinely cares about you, there is a huge difference with how you are treated in that relationship. There's a huge difference with how that person is with you. I think one of those examples where you can see that is when a woman is pregnant. If you are pregnant and you're with someone who genuinely cares about you, that man is going to rally around you. He's going to make sure you're straight. I've heard stories of women that have been pregnant and their partners have not been supportive at all. They've been tired, going through fatigue, feeling sick, all different kinds of symptoms, and their partners just expected them to like just get on with it. You're strong, you got this. Instead of them actually supporting, how can I help you? How can I make your life better? Like, what can I do to help? I've heard stories of husbands and partners that have been cooking and that man can't cook, but simply just to help, their partner, to make things easier for them, to support them. They've done things that they wouldn't typically do, or things that maybe it's not their area of expertise, but simply because they care about the well-being of their partner. And for someone who has a healthy idea of what love is, you may think, but that's just what you do if you love someone. But I think that's the thing, right? Love and what people perceive to be love is very different. Like, you might perceive love in one way, someone else might perceive it in a completely different way. And someone can say they love you, but treat you like crap, right? So I think this quality in itself can truly show you what love looks like to that person. For me, when I think of love, I think of making that person a priority and not just centering everything on yourself. Like, if someone says, "Oh, I love this person because of this," and all those things relate to them, I don't really think that's love. I think that's just admiration, or you like that person, or they're pleasant. But I think love is more centered on who that person is, not just what they're doing for you. And, if I look at in the Bible, the way that love is described, love is patient, love is kind, love keeps no record of wrongs, all those things. And that's what love looks like to me. However, again, you may be in a relationship with someone that says they love you, but they cheat on you, they lie to you, they hurt you, they abuse you, they're not honest with you. And for them, they might be like, "Ah, but I really love you." But it's like, is that version of love is not really healthy, right? So I just think if you are dating, this is a quality. Take my unsolicited advice. Take it or leave it. You don't have to take it. But I think it's something to be conscious of. Does that person genuinely care about me? How have they shown that in how they have navigated this relationship with me? How do they show me that they genuinely care about me? And it's one thing to say it. We're not just talking about words, because some people, they can say all the right things. It sounds great. But what are their actions showing me? How do they show up in the lives of the people that they say they genuinely care about, that their family or those that are closest to them? And I think it's a quality to not overlook. It's a quality to really pay attention to. And even thinking about my own experience, over the last 10 years that I've been with my husband, there has been so many times where he has shown me that he genuinely cares. You know, when I was in a job that was super stressful, I was overwhelmed, I was burnt out. And I think when I look back at that time, it's just like, whoa, like I was really burnt out. I was really, really going through it. But when I look back at that time and just how he was so supportive in one saying, "Do you know what, like, if this job is affecting you that badly, then I think it's best for you to leave." And just being supportive for me to take that leap, make that decision. Because again, me leaving my job is not only going to impact me, it's also going to impact him and our household as well. But the fact that he was able to make that sacrifice because that was best for my well being at that time, it really just showed me like, nah, this man, he's a good man, Savannah. Like, he is a good man, Savannah. And there's just been so many different occasions where he has been supportive, or he's been like, "Oh, what can I do to help?" And sometimes it's not always the big things. It's even things like he'll cook for the whole week. when I'm stressed or when I just don't want to cook. Like he will step up, he'll cook, he'll clean. There's certain chores around the house that he does. Like he hoovers, he mops. I don't be touching the mop. Like it's very rare. But again, I think that's the key, right? When someone genuinely cares about your well-being, they will be willing to put their ego aside if that means that they can show up and they can support you. And my husband has done that time and time again. And seeing that, it gives me confidence to make certain decisions in life alongside him because I know that he's going to be there with me. He's shown me. If I, l- I am, I'm a very rational person. So if I look at the data, if I look at what I've seen, if I look at the times he has shown me that I can trust him, that he's supportive, that he's going to be there for me, looking at that data gives me the confidence to be like, okay, I can trust you. And again, trust is earned. Trust is earned, it's not just given. Well, for me, I think someone should earn your trust and you should earn their trust. So here are a couple of things that I think are important to pay attention to. How does that person show up for you when you are going through a difficult moment? How do they speak to you? How do they treat you? How do they support you? If you've ever verbalized support that you've needed, how have they responded to that? And equally, how have they been with their family? Like if they've, I don't know, if they've ever experienced any difficulties or family issues or family emergencies, like who are they in the mix of things? Like when there's a family emergency, you have the person that, the reliable one that's going to be there. You have the person that takes the lead, makes the decisions, does what needs to be done, even if it's hard. Where does that person sit in their family dynamic? Are they the person who is nowhere to be seen? Or are they the person who gets involved, gets stuck in, that's willing to do what it takes to help their family? Of course, in a healthy way and with boundaries, right? But where do they sit? Because sometimes you won't see those things when you're with someone, especially if you're not with them for a very long time. You're not going to see everything, right? But from what you have seen, who have they shown themselves to be? In their friendships, what's their dynamic like? Are they the reliable friend or are they the flaky friend? Are they the person that's always like, yeah, I'm meant to be meeting up with my friend, and then they're like, oh no, I cancelled. Are they reliable? Do they show up for the people that they say that they love and they care about? Because I think it can be quite egotistical of us sometimes to think that, oh, well, they treated that person like that, but they're not going to do that to me. Sometimes we can put ourselves on this pedestal and think that, the person's going to treat us differently to how they treat others. But I do think you may not have experienced the side of that person that maybe someone else has, but if they've shown themselves to be a certain way, it's only a matter of time before you experience the same too. So don't go thinking, he was like that with his ex or with whoever, but I'm different. Yeah, that's not a risk you probably want to be taking. So I think it's a matter of really looking at not just what someone is saying, but what are they showing you? What are their actions showing? And for me, when I was dating, prayer was really something that I leaned on a lot. Praying, asking God for direction, also asking God to help me to see, are there any red flags? Are there any things that I need to be paying attention to? And I think I was a little bit hyper vigilant because I was so afraid of making the wrong decision in my relationship. But because I was so afraid of committing to someone that I would later regret, I was very, very focused on looking for those things. And even sometimes I was looking for things that weren't there. But I would rather err on the side of caution than to just be, airy fairy and going with the wind and then regret it later. So I think, of course, there's a balance to be had, not only for the person on the receiving end of your vigilance, but also for yourself as well. But I do think it's a matter of observing, looking at how they treat you, how they treat others. How do they speak about their relationships, their interactions with other people? Do they have friends? Do they have, people, even if it's a small group? Do they have people outside of you is also something to pay attention to. And what are the implications? I think when you're in a relationship with someone who doesn't genuinely care about your well being, when times are not good, when you are going through difficult moments, when in life you will, you're going to go through challenges. You may go through health issues. You may go through, issues in your family, issues at work. And if you're with someone who doesn't genuinely care about your well-being, who's not willing to put their ego aside or compromise or make sacrifices, you're gonna be on your own going through that. And even if you are with a supportive partner, of course, there's certain problems you go through that even if someone is supportive, you're still gonna have to go through it. It doesn't remove the challenge you're gonna have to go through, but it definitely lightens the load, right? Knowing that you have someone who is supporting you, who is walking alongside you through that difficulty. Problem shared is a problem halved, as they say. But when you're with someone who is very individualistic, who is selfish, who is very much about just themselves and making themselves a priority, and they're not willing to show up for you, you're going to feel the difference. If you've ever experienced being in a relationship with someone who genuinely cares about you, even if that relationship doesn't work out, your standard has been set. And if you then experience a relationship with someone who's the complete opposite, that they don't really care about you like that, you're going to feel the difference. And I know I've been told numerous times by single friends and single people that I meet, the dating market is tapped. It's not good, you know. Something's in the water. And I guess hearing those things, experiencing that, going on dates, it not working out, being in relationships, it not working out, it can harden your heart and it can make it difficult to believe that there is someone out there that is solid, that's compatible to you, that you're going to experience that love that you deserve. But one thing that I would really encourage you is do not be desperate and do not give up. Do not settle for being with someone who doesn't care about you. Do not settle for someone who is just with you out of convenience, who is with you for what you can offer, not for who you are as a person. Don't settle for that because life is unpredictable. You may even feel like, "Oh, I don't need my partner for anything." And I don't think you should ever need someone for anything, right? But there are going to be moments in life where you will need support. You will need whether it's emotional support, maybe even financial support, and if you're with someone who is not willing to even try to help or be there, you're going to suffer on your own. And I think especially if you're in a relationship where you don't have children with that person, but you do want to have children in the future, those are things to look out for. Pregnancy and what the girlies be telling me they have gone through, it's not for the faint hearted. And being pregnant and in a relationship with someone who is not supportive yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. And even giving birth, having a child, raising a child with someone who, again, is very individualistic, is not willing to compromise in a relationship, you're gonna struggle. And I think this is where you see single married moms. This is where you see women who have partners on paper, but are very much alone, are very much living a life as a single mom or a single parent. And I think a lot of it does boil down to this. Does that person genuinely care about your well-being? There is no way someone can say they care about your well-being and they can see you burn out, struggling, and not even offer to help. Whether that's just to do the laundry, whether it's just to, buying your favorite chocolate or cooking dinner or ordering a takeaway or just asking, what can I do to help? Are you okay? Yeah, there's no way. But this is just my little 2 pence. Let me know what you think. Have you ever experienced being in a relationship who genuinely cares for you? And maybe you haven't. But if you've not experienced that, do not overlook that. When you are getting to know someone, don't overlook that quality. Whether you're a man or a woman, it's important. Because again, I speak a lot from a woman's perspective because I'm a woman, but there are women who are in relationships with men that they do not care about that man. They are in that relationship for what they can gain. They're in that relationship for what's going to benefit them, and they don't genuinely care about the person they're with. So equally, the signs that I've said for a woman to look out for, if you are a man, there are also things for you to look out for too. Because again, life happens. You might be up now, but there may be moments where you're down. You lost your job, something happens, there's a shift in your business, a shift in your market, you're not making the money you were making. And this is the difference between being with someone who's going to ride with you through sickness and in health, through richer and poorer, not just richer and richer. I know we'd all like richer and richer, me too. Who wants poorer if you've experienced a little bit of money? Nobody. But If you want to be with someone who's going to ride with you till the wheels fall off, who will be with you eating that, basic meal, if that's all you guys can afford, but will equally be with you to eat that nice Michelin star restaurant 10-course menu, then it's also quality to really pay attention to. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. And don't just center on what someone tells you, but look at what their actions are showing. And equally, if you are on the other end of the relationship, you need to ask yourself that too. Do I genuinely care about my partner's well-being? Or how can maybe you do, but perhaps you don't show it. What can I do to show up for my partner? Ask them, how can I support you? What do you need from me? How can I show you my care? But these are just some of my thoughts. I would love to know what you guys think. I am going to do a poll if you're listening on Spotify, so have a look at that and engage in the poll. Let me know your thoughts. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Have a great rest of your week, and I will be back with you in the next episode next week. And yeah, dare I say I'm back? I'm going to keep saying it. I'm back. If you didn't listen to last episode, do check it out and let me know what you think. And if you have a dilemma, you need some advice, you want my thoughts, whether it's on relationships, finances, then drop me a DM, write to me, or email me your question, your dilemma, and I will answer it in the episode. Of course, don't worry, it will be anonymized. I'm not going to say your name. And how can I end today's episode without telling you my pearl of the week? I'm trying to get into the habit of sharing my pearl of the week. My pearl of the week is this: take life one day at a time. And I'm saying this because this is something I'm really trying to do, taking life one day at a time. Sometimes I'm running ahead. I'm thinking about next year and I need to get through this week. So my pearl of the week to you and to myself is take life one day at a time. One problem at a time, one thing at a time. Just being present. You are the youngest you're ever going to be today, right? You're only going to get older and more mature from here on out. So take it one day at a time. Take some time to smell the flowers. Take some time to try and really enjoy where you're at. And it can be really difficult when life moves at such a fast pace, when there's so much happening, so much going on, so much that we feel like we need to do. But especially if you are someone who struggles with anxiety, worry, depression, just take it one day at a time. Take a deep breath, release it, and yeah, one day at a time. One day at a time. Yeah, that's my pearl of the week. But anyways, have a great rest of your week, and I'll be back with you in the next episode. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share this episode. Share it with a friend. Share it on your socials. Tag me as well if you follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, YouTube, and I'll be back with you next week.